Hi everybody, Rusty Blackwood here, and welcome to my loft on this May 15th, 2023. It is a lovely day outside. It's a little cool, but the wind is a little cool, but the sun is shining, and it's just a really great feeling to see the leaves coming on the trees. Like, they're pretty much all there now, and so lots of welcome shade for those who don't like to sit out in the sun like me because I burn so badly. Such are the joys of the ginger, and so I learned that a very, very long time ago. And so today I'm here to do an update video on Return to Autumn Part 2, which is now officially released on hardback. You can go to Amazon.com or Amazon.ca, I believe any Amazon you want to go to, and it is there in hardback format for you all, if that is your choice to have for your if you're a collector, or you just prefer to have a hardback book in your hands. Now, I don't have my own hardback yet. I will be getting one, for display and for my own private library. This one that I'm displaying here, this one is the paperback version, and of course it is available on Kindle as well. And so as I said in prior videos, it's like bittersweet for me, because now that the hardback is done, the Autumn series, or trilogy as it's been dubbed, is now totally complete. And so it's just, for anybody who writes could understand how I feel, how it feels to complete a project and know that everything is done, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and it's totally produced. It's out of your hands. It's out there into the world for whoever might choose to pick up a copy and read it, and very kindly, hopefully, give it a review and rate it from 1 to 5 stars. So far, I'm very proud to say that this entire series has garnered 5 stars all around for each of the books, and for me, that is wonderful to realize and to see. Reviews are coming in all the time on the entire series. They are starting to come in now for Return to Autumn Part 2. I think there's only 1 or 2 that are in. If you all go to my official website, rusty-blackwood.com, and go to the Rusty Books page, you can see on there and scroll down, like, all of the books that I've done. The majority, like my novels, are on there, not my comedy series or my children's collection or my poetry. But if you go to my bio page, it's all listed there. You can see them all, and you can see they're all available on Amazon as well. But the book page is dedicated to my dramatic novels, and it's there that you will find the Autumn series, and be able to click on each book and find out about it and check out the reviews for each book that is listed there. And so I hope you will do that. Yesterday was a beautiful day. I hope you all mothers out there, in whatever capacity, whether you've children or whether you've furry children, meaning pets, of course, and not human children, but because you're a mama to them. And but for all mothers out there, I hope you had a very enjoyable, happy Mother's Day. I did. Yesterday was my youngest great-grandson, Carter Thomas, whom I refer to all the time as Carter T., was his dedication. And in church yesterday at the early service, and he did really well. You know, he accepted the oiling on his forehead, and he didn't he didn't try to turn away or stop. He's quite the little character. He has a mind of his own. He knows what he likes, what he doesn't like, and so, you know, had he wanted to make a scene, he would have done it, but he didn't. He was a fantastically behaved little boy, and he accepted Pastor Bill's words to him and the dedication to him, and for him being dedicated yesterday. And Harrison was up there on the stage with his mom and dad and his little brother as well, and behaved himself beautifully. And there was a lot of children yesterday being dedicated, and it's really a wonderful, uplifting sight to see this, because I think in the world the way it is today, it it brings hope that there is going to be a future for everybody, and a future in the way it should be, people of God. And so I'm just going to have a little drink here. It's just straight water. So cheers to the completion of the Autumn series, and to you all a late happy Mother's Day. So that is what I have to report today, which is short and sweet, really. You know, my usual hack here, and but I have to do that in order to be able to speak and carry on with what I want to say, and I'm not going to be stifled by anything or my voice hindered in any way, as I will find a way. And so I had a delightful conversation last night with an old friend, a very dear friend of mine. We go back a very long way. We both we met each other in 1979, I believe, and we ended up, both of us, fronting the band, the country rock blues band Mirage, and she was keyboardist and did lead vocals, and I, of course, was bassist and did lead and shared with lead vocals, and we did each other's harmony, and we both come from different musical backgrounds, and we were fortunate that we were able to blend our voices together as well as we did, and that's what I think made Mirage as popular as it became. And after I moved to Niagara, I left the band, of course, and I moved down to Niagara in 1985, and you know, began my life down here. But we always stayed in touch, and kind of drifted apart for a little while. And but you know, when you're true friends to begin with, you always find your way back, and that's what Dana and I did. And so so anyway, we had a nice video chat last night, and she's going to be coming down at the last weekend of this month and spending the weekend with me. So yay, you know, Dana, come on ahead, I can't wait. And so we're going to have a wonderful time together, and you know, have some wine and have some music, and have some reminiscing and have some hugs, and just chill together and enjoy each other's company. We don't get to see each other all that often, and so I mean, for all of you that have old friends that you don't get to see a lot of, I hope that when you do, you take advantage of that fact and enjoy each other as much as you possibly can, and enjoy your company. And if you've got old friends that you haven't seen in a very long time, I hope that you reach out, hunt them up, check them out on Facebook or wherever. Just bear with me one moment. I've got a sneeze coming here. Excuse me very, very much. I don't know if that will be the only one, because usually when I sneeze, I have about 3 in a row. So we shall see. There's a lot of pollen in the air, as well as the cats that live here too, and I tend to be a little bit allergic to them, but I persevere and I manage. And the same with the pollen and that's in the air, and certain leaves on trees and stuff like that. And so I if need be, I'll have to end up taking a Benadryl and keep myself so that I can breathe properly and get on fine. And if it makes me sleepy and I have no place that I've got to be today, so if it ends up putting me out, well, so be it. And so for me, that's life. And when I do my next video, I think, which will be relatively soon, I think I'm going to talk about some things that I have mentioned in the past about, and I wrote about it, especially in Willow's Walk, about a woman being taken advantage of in ways that she could not control because of the state she was in at that particular time, and how that had come around to be. I changed it, I based it on an experience of my own, but of course, which I do a lot of the different subjects and that in my books, of what characters encounter and things like that I have encountered in my life, and use it as a basis. But then I'll, of course, it's fiction that I'm writing for you to read that may be based on actuality of something that had happened, but I change it and tweak it up or change it around to be maybe a little bit more entertaining. And for Willow, it wasn't very nice. I mean, what I write, what happens to Willow, the total situation that happens to Willow did not happen to me, but parts of it did. And so, and I think it's something that needs to be discussed in an open forum for people that don't realize that when they are online and they're in a chat room, for instance, or they're doing a video chat, even a viral chat with somebody, what you say and who you encounter. I mean, the video, the chat room that I was in, there was no video about it. It was just simply, you didn't know who you were chatting with other than what they told you. There was no identification. You couldn't see them. Otherwise, you would see what they look like and who they are, which in that respect, I think video chatting is much better because you see who it is that you're chatting with. And so, whereas when it is just text, you're just typing back and forth to a blank screen before you. You have no idea who it really is on the other side of that blank screen. And so, and for Willow, of course, who she thought she was getting to know and who he's telling her he was not who he was. He was sending pictures to her, supposedly him, and it turns out that it's not him at all, until he unexpectedly turns up at her door one day, and I'm not going to go into how he comes to be there, because that is giving too much of the book away. If you want to find out, you're going to have to get yourself a copy of the book and find out. But and of course, when she sees him, he's a total stranger. He's not these pictures that he was sending at all. And so, and when she, you know, when he meets a stone wall and she rebukes him, you know, things change, not for the good. And then what happens to Willow because of it. And but I think, as I say, I think it's something that needs to continue to be kept active, as far as advising, especially women. I mean, men, whatever men encounter, I mean, they're men. They should be able to handle whatever it is that they encounter. But for women, it's a little bit different. You're a little bit more vulnerable. And should you encounter a situation that, you know, maybe you can't handle because of, well, the difference in physical strength, for one thing, and drugs and things being slipped into your drink that you're not aware of. I can remember when I was very young and going to parties with different kids that I knew, and you always carried what you were drinking, whether it was an alcoholic drink or whether it was just a soft drink. You always carried it with you, because if you didn't, you did not know when you would return to your drink what might be in it that you didn't realize, and then the consequences weren't always the best. And so but I had an encounter many years later, and I want to talk about that in a public forum, and with hopes that not bringing attention to me, but hoping that what I have to say and my experience of it might help some innocent woman out there to avoid that. And I think it's very important. And so that's what I'm planning to do in an upcoming video. I don't know that it will be my next video, but I'm kind of leaning toward that. And also, I had mentioned that I was going to be, I was, you know, weighing the idea in my head about writing a new novel as a prequel to The Perils of Autumn and Return to Autumn's Part 1 and 2, and that I'm going to center it more on and around Cyril, and I was thinking of giving it the title of Before the Grandeur, and the more I've been thinking about that, the more I've decided that I'm going to do that, and but it won't be right away that I'll begin that. I think I'm going to wait for a little while and enjoy my summer a little bit, because I've got the promotion of this series going on that you know, I have to put my attention on as well. And the first Saturday of June, which I believe is the first Saturday, I'm going to be taking part in a reading series that is being sponsored by the lady who owns Lakeshore Books and Art in Ridgeway, Ontario here. So for anybody in the Niagara region here, the Niagara Peninsula, I will be there from 10:30 to 1, and with my books. I mean, she has my books in her shop, and now that the Autumn series is totally finished, I will have the complete series with me. As it stands right now, Return to Autumn Part 2 is not in her shop, but the first two are, and I will be bringing copies of Part 2 with me. And so So I think it's kind of nice that her summer series has already started. She's had a couple of local authors already taking part, and from what I can see, I haven't spoken in depth with her about exactly what it entails, but what I can see from the pictures that she posts on Facebook and Instagram, that you sit in the front of out front right in front of the store, the shop, and speak with people and discuss your work, and I suppose read if they would like to have a reading. And I will find out, because I'm going to be doing a couple more for her over the course of the summer and fall, and I will be doing a Meet the Author day with her sometime over the course of the summer or in the fall. And we were going to do that last November, but it didn't work out that way through, scheduling and not going to be able to have enough product to take with me. It would have made it worthwhile, and so and it was getting closer to Christmas, and they don't, most bookstores don't book any local events with authors throughout December because of Christmas and all the different things that they're doing, their sales and stuff like that. That doesn't leave them a lot of time for doing what they will do with local authors. And so I'm looking forward to all of this. I think it's time, because I think the last live event I did, as I've spoken about this before, was before COVID, and it was just on the brink of COVID. It was March 2020, and in Ancaster, Indigo, and I was doing a signing there for the Perils of Autumn. That was before Return to Autumn came out, and I think I had some copies of Willow's Walk with me, but mainly it was the Perils of Autumn, and that was the very last live event that I have done for my work, and I think it's time, all that time. Thank God for the internet, because if it wasn't for the internet and what all the internet provides for authors, oh my, you may as well stop, because the old saying, out of sight, out of mind, is very, very true, and so you have to keep your name and your face in the public, and if you expect people to remember who you are and support your work. And so and that's part of the reason why I like to do these videos, and I've started to do them oftener than I once did. There was a time I would only do a video on a special occasion throughout the year, and but since I decided throughout the course of bringing Return to Autumn's Part 1 and 2 that I wanted to include my readers in updates of what was happening with it and things, to try to, I think it helps to maybe have a better rapport for you to have with me, to know what's going on, and also to know and understand how much I so appreciate, and I think I speak for all authors in that respect, especially local authors in my area, how much we appreciate what all you do for us. There are not a lot of indie bookstores. There's more coming all the time, which I think is great, because they're up against, there again, the big shops, the big chains and stuff. And so if you've got an independent bookstore in your area, please support it and buy your books there. Go there and browse the books, because they usually have a huge array of every genre imaginable. And this indie shop in Ridgeway, she also supports artists, so you can see some fantastic art, and you don't need to be going to the big art galleries, and when you have this right at your doorstep in your own neighborhoods. And so please support them. And you know, it's like when you want to go shopping, Amazon is great, but support the local shops that they're trying to make a living, and you're going to find things in these shops that you're not going to find in the big box stores. And the things that you find in these little shops, a lot of it is handmade. It's done with pride, and you're getting quality for your money. And you can pick up some pretty great deals. The same as going to the local markets when they're in season and getting your vegetables and your fruit and even your baked goods and things like that there, your breads and things, because they are made from wholesome ingredients, no preservatives, and heaven only knows what else is being snuck in there that you're getting on the supermarket shelves that you're not going to get when you're going to the local markets. And so some food for thought, and I hope you'll take me up on you know, take it to heart what I'm having to say about supporting your local shops. And so I'm going to say bye-bye for today. This is, as I say, a little bit shorter videos than I have been doing, but at least it's keeping in touch with everybody and bringing you up to date and celebrating the completion of the Autumn series. And when I begin Before the Grandeur, you'll be going along with me throughout that entire process and that entire ride, finding out all about Cyril and how he came to be the celebrated horsemaster that you read about in the Autumn series. And so I would like to wish you God's blessings to each of you. Please like this video. Please comment it if you would, share it about, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll be back soon to talk to you all. Have a good afternoon. I've got to slide up here in order to reach the stop thing, and I'll talk to you all soon. So bye-bye for now.